You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, January the 7th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, police are investigating the sudden death of a 15-year-old student. She was found in her Hamilton Parish residence in an unresponsive state and later taken to the hospital. Jasmine Patterson brings us the latest.
Police were dispatched to a home on My Lord's Bay Road in Hamilton Parish shortly before noon today. Details are scarce. However, it was reported that an incident took place there, according to police media and public relations manager Dwayne Keynes.
Upon police arrival, they came upon a 15-year-old young lady's body. As a result, that 15-year-old young lady was taken to KEMH, where she later was pronounced dead.
Police officers were still processing the scene when we arrived at the residence this afternoon. There is little known exactly what happened today, and the identity of the girl has not yet been revealed.
No information will be given until the next of kin has been notified. It would not be prudent at this juncture to go into any more details until we notify the family and they deal with their unfortunate and new reality.
We asked police whether foul play has been suspected in the cause of death.
Again, right now, we will not go into the specifics and/or cause of death. That will be something that will be borne out in a coroner's inquest. What we can say at this point in time, a 15-year-old lady was pronounced dead as a result of an incident that took place today, and our sympathies go out to the family. The whole community mourns today.
In other news, a community activist has produced a music video aimed at moving people to think about the victims of gang violence and their families. Antonio Belvedere says he wants people to take notice of the video and its message of peace and overcoming tragedy. He told Bermuda Broadcasting News that the continued gang murders have left too many children without a father. Tarai Trott reports.
You're broken down and tired of living life.
The video is based on the Andra Day song Rise Up and performed by Bermudian Brittany Cox and produced by community activist Antonio Belvedere, who has long campaigned for an end to gang violence.
I mean, my generation is either dead or locked up. You know, a lot of guys I went to school with in Delwood and Cedar Bridge, they're mostly dead or locked up or abroad.
Mr. Belvedere is speaking out following the December 29th shooting murder of Renico Burcho outside of the St. David's Cricket Club. The incident believed to be connected to the ongoing gang warfare. It's the children of violence victims Mr. Belvedere worries about the most.
I feel that a lot of these kids nowadays that are coming up, they have a lot of hurt on their hearts. They've either lost a father, a godpa, an uncle to gang violence, and they're growing up with a heavy heart and a lot of pain. And I don't think Bermuda really has the resources to actually counsel them and get them through this type of things, and even have different initiatives to actually keep them on the right path and keep them positive, you know. In
calling for the entire community to keep the youth in mind, he singles out parents as having an important role to play.
Well, I would say definitely it starts from him. The parents need to kind of take more responsibility for their kids' actions. I've witnessed a few fights at the bus terminal. I've stopped one. I've seen, you know, the principal and the security guard from Berkeley trying to stop, the deputy principal and security guards from Berkeley stopping fights at the bus terminal.
While praising the work of the new police commissioner, Stephen Corbishley, he feels police, too, could look at their role.
When I was coming up, I remember we had parish constables and stuff, and we had a lot of respect for them. We always knew when PC Perot was coming out Spanish Point that we had to, like, act right, and we had respect for the police there, and I feel that the respect for the police is not there. So the kids have no respect for them, because the way they were acting towards the police, that one incident at the bus terminal, I was like, these guys, these kids, they just can't be serious. And I know the police, you know, the police are doing the thing. You have the new commissioner. I actually would one day like to sit down and talk to him. And he's doing a lot of good things. They've seized 3 guns, which is nice. But, you know, we have to really wake up and know that just because they seize 3 guns, it doesn't mean that things are going to stop.
If you followed Mr. Belvedere on social media or heard him speak before, he's been consistent with his message of break the silence.
I always feel that silence gives consent. If you're silent, if you're now breaking the silence is actually, you can go at it in a few different ways. One is, you know, if you know information, you should come forward with the information, for one. For two, breaking the silence for me and my campaign is being the voice for the voiceless. So me and a few people who are in my committee and stuff, we are trying to support the families who have lost loved ones.
Mr. Mr. Belvedere has published his video on Facebook and Instagram where he says he has received positive feedback. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tarai. Mr. Belvedere has teamed up with Desmond Crockwell of Visions magazine to call on the country to wear red on January 21st to demonstrate solidarity in the fight against violence. Coming up, more news and your AccuWeather forecast for the week. Stay with us.
The year-end clearance sale is now on at Bermuda Motors. Cargo ships bringing our 2019 models will be arriving soon. To make room, we're offering the lowest prices of the year on these models. Ford Figo, our hatchback with cutting-edge technology. Ford EcoSport, big on comfort, safety, and power. Toyota Avenza, the perfect balance of style and function. Toyota Prius C, our fuel-efficient 5-door hybrid. So hurry, prices are available until the end of the year or while our inventory lasts at Bermuda Motors.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs for their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Welcome back. Well, the National Security Minister, Wayne Keynes, has addressed critics of government's anti-gang violence strategy in light of continued gang shootings and the murder late last month of Renico Burchell. Since his murder, in which he was fatally shot by a gunman while standing outside of the St. David's Cricket Club, many community activists have taken to the media to prescribe their medicine to the long-running problem. However, Mr. Keynes, while pledging to always work with these activists, points out they do not have access to government's overall plan and strategy. The minister released a statement last night and pointed out the problem did not start overnight and it won't be fixed overnight.
We must stop pointing fingers and roll up our sleeves to help with our problem. This is a community problem. Our community must rise, and we must all play a part in the process of healing. Our churches, community clubs, fraternities, sororities, the LGBTQ community, and most importantly, the family. I challenge each Bermudian to do all that you can do to step up and be part of the solution to end gun violence in Bermuda.
In other news, gay rights activist Mark Anderson expressing disappointment at the National Security Minister's rallying call on the LGBTQ community in particular to help end gun violence. Minister Wayne Keynes today released new figures showing the number of firearms-related incidents are down since 2016 by 40%. He outlines the overall gang reduction strategy to encourage young men to avoid the pitfalls of gang culture and challenges. Quote, all churches, community clubs, fraternities, sororities, the LGBTQ community, and most importantly, family to step up and be part of the solution, end quote. However, Mr. Anderson feels the statement is disingenuous given the government's decision to appeal the most recent ruling allowing same-sex marriage to the UK Privy Council.
I think that it was very inappropriate, and I take a little offense for Minister Keynes to single us out from the straight community. I would like to point out we are already a part of the entire community of this country. Let me say also, as a citizen of Bermuda, I agree that the gang violence situation is a matter that concerns us all, and the entire community should do their part to tackle the situation. What concerns me is that of all times to include the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community is a national matter. Why government chooses this one? Yes, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community can play a positive role with our community issues. And for that, I appreciate the minister's inclusion, even if it is a backhanded acknowledgement. So I was just curious as to what inspired the minister to include the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community in his statement. Let me also point out this is a government who is denying the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community their rights to marry. I don't think Minister Keynes has included the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community amongst the rest of our citizens in previous statements.
Mr. Anderson believes the government's latest challenge to same-sex marriage is divisive.
I'm not surprised at that at all. And the reason why, because remember, they had to stick to their guns because they had did it 2 other previous times. So, if, for the 3rd time or the 4th time, it didn't surprise me at all because remember, they had put this in their platform to go against the Marriage Act for the gay community. So remember, they're only doing this just to appease the people that are against it. But let me also add is that the gay community is very instrumental and was very effective for voting them in as well. There was a great significance of the gay community, and I was one of them, that voted for the PLP. So, my thing is you can't appease one segment of the community to appease them and then go against the very same gay community that's also trying to vote you in as well.
In other news, attention airline travelers, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection pre-clearance operations at the LF Wade International Airport will continue without disruption. U.S. Consul General Constance Dearman said during the lapse in appropriations with the partial government shutdown, scheduled passport and visa services at the U.S. Consul General will continue as the situation permits. She added public comments and website updates by the U.S. Consulate General will be limited until full operations resume, except for urgent safety and security information. The statement comes amidst a partial shutdown of U.S. government operations following a standoff between the Trump administration and the Democrats on Trump's demands for funds to build a border between the U.S. and Mexico. Several hundred TSA officers have reportedly been involved in sick-out action, causing travel delays. Turning to weather news, breezy and cooler temperatures today. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters to see what we can expect for the rest of our week.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer. Hopefully you had a good weekend. We're kind of in that period of finally starting to see a change, feeling a little bit cool outside. We started today off in the upper 60s, and we've just been falling since then. And we're going to keep falling as we head into tonight as far as temperatures are concerned. You can see not a whole lot showing up here on the satellite and radar. However, we do have a cool pocket of air right over us and also those clouds as well. So as we look at some of the current conditions right now, temperatures right around 60 degrees, humidity 65%. We do have winds coming in out of the northwest, and it is a little bit breezy out there. Breezy or windy, however you want to classify it. Winds 18 to 22 knots. The water temperature 68 degrees right now. Waves inside the reef running between 2 and 4 feet, and then certainly some choppier conditions outside of the reef with waves anywhere from 9 to even 13 feet. We do have some weather alerts that we want to tell you about here. The first one we have is continuing through this evening, the gale warning. Winds will start to taper off a bit, but I'll still call it breezy through the overnight hours here, just not going to be quite as windy. And then we do have a small craft warning through at least Tuesday afternoon, so heads up if you might be heading anywhere toward the water. Our upcoming tidal times that we have for you right here. High tide coming in before 9:30 tonight, and then we have our low tide coming in at 3:31. That should be Tuesday morning. That's when our next low tide will be. And something notable about the forecast for tonight, we've had falling temperatures throughout today. I was looking back at some of the data. Should we hit a low of 55 degrees for tonight, that'll be one of the coldest temperatures we've seen so far this season. The last time we had a low of 55 degrees was December 20th. I know it wasn't that long ago, but our typical nighttime low is right around 58 degrees, and we are going to stay unseasonably cool into tomorrow. Our average high in the upper 60s will be below that, 62. More clouds and sunshine, at least tomorrow night. We'll see some slight improvements as far as temperatures are concerned. High pressure will start to nudge its way on into the area into Tuesday and Tuesday night. And then this will be the next thing that we're watching, a frontal boundary. Ahead of that, temperatures will be spiking up in a big way on Wednesday. And then we will see the opportunity for some showers at least into Wednesday night. Here's a look at our current conditions. Jamaica, Barbados, and also Trinidad with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And if you're doing any traveling, well, across New England tomorrow, the chance of some rain and also some snow. So pretty chilly out there toward the East Coast. We will be seeing some cool air into Tuesday. Temperatures spike up ahead of that front on Wednesday, low 70s. Chance for rain Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, and then we cool off into the 60s once again.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Who will represent the National Football League, AFC, and NFC respective conferences? The 53rd edition of the Super Bowl will be played right here on CBS Network, home of ZBM TV9 on February the 3rd, 2019. Be a part of the most exciting and thrilling game played around the world during the month of February. ZBM will bring you exclusive live coverage from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, beginning at 12:30 p.m. For more information on sponsorship, email sales@bbc.bm or call 295-2828 and ask for our sales department.
Social justice group Citizens Uprooting Racism in Bermuda, or CURB, is calling on the government to rename the second day of Cup Match as Mary Prince Day. In a press release, they said their 2019 racial justice platform will be released later this month, which outline a list of items which CURB believe will bring about a greater equity in Bermuda. They say there is the need to honor Bermudian author and slave Mary Prince as one of their items. Prince's account of her experiences as a slave in the 1800s was taken to the Anti-Slavery Society in London, which contributed to the abolition of the practice throughout the British Empire. In order to fully recognize the emancipation origins of Cup Match, they call on the government to replace Somers Day, named after the first English founder of the colony, Sir George Somers, with Mary Prince Day. There are 8 American states that have a law stating that a dog must wear a harness when in a vehicle, but no law locally that categorically requires dogs to wear a seatbelt here. Mike Sharp reports.
Should there be legislation to prevent dogs from running loose in a car while it is being driven? The Minister of Transport, Zane De Silva, was asked, should there be restrictions because of the possible distractions?
Well, that's a new one for me, Mike, I will say. I haven't heard any talk in the ministry about it. I haven't heard anyone even talking about animals in cars. But I'll tell you what, if a dog is sitting on someone's lap and they're driving, I would think that's a distraction. And it might even be an offense. I don't know, Mike. But it's certainly something for me to take back to my people and have a discussion on.
The minister said a dog can be more of a distraction than a cell phone.
Certainly more of a distraction, I would think, than a cell phone. Yeah. But like I said, I haven't heard anything, so I can't really comment at this stage, other than I would think that a dog is certainly a distraction. You know, I have 2 dogs of my own. They don't travel in my car. I know people who do travel with the dogs in cars. I must say I haven't seen any dogs in driver seats or passenger seats as of late. I have seen them in the back seats.
Yes, they head out the window.
Yeah, head out the window. So, but that's a new one.
This is the first time that the matter has been brought up to the minister, but will he really look into this situation?
I will have a look at it.
Okay.
I will. I will promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe dog seats or something in the back. I'm not saying dogs should not travel in a car.
Oh, no, because, I mean, let's face it, I've always had animals. I think animals become part of families. So I certainly don't knock anyone for taking the dogs in and around with them. But we must also make sure that we're driving safely.
Sure.
And if that means that we have to secure dogs in some way, but it doesn't necessarily mean being in a seat. I mean, even if they screen them off from the driver, you may have to set up a screen in the back seat. But it's something worth discussing with my people.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Coming up, Earl Basin live in studio with your weekend sports roundup. Stay tuned.
When it's happening now, you can't beat the immediacy of radio.
Chance to hear the thoughts of acclaimed author.
No matter where you are.
I'm Darlene Livingston with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
When events are spectacular, television is by far the best media platform.
Why now this particular topic?
For sports action, well, need we say more? Broadcast reporters put elected officials on the spot, keeping them honest and accountable to voters. And they can explain things in ways we all understand.
Climbs up to 12.5%.
Broadcast news is important. We're your eyes and ears on the ground. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. In good times and bad. Radio's your constant companion.
On the big station, Power 95.
And TV news is the news.
Based on what you're seeing.
And Bermuda Broadcasting is your station.
Let's Talk is back. The TV talk show hosted by Gary Marino airs live at 8 p.m. on Mondays. Real conversations with key figures in public life, going beyond the sound bites to explore and contextualize current affairs. And there's lots to talk about: jobs, tax reform, our changing economy, education, crime, and the environment. Discussing the issues that matter in depth and with personality. A new studio, a new look, for a new season. That's Let's Talk. Live Mondays at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9 and repeated at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m.
Well, there were plenty of goals in football action, plus so much more in sports. We now have Earl Basin live in the studio with tonight's sports report.
Thanks, Diane. A total of 41 goals were scored in the combined 9 games between the First and Premier Division over the weekend. 2 teams missed the opportunity to take over the leadership of the Premiership as well. Robin Hood could have leapfrogged the idle PHC Zebras to move to the top of the table, but they could only manage a 0-0 draw at the Devonshire Recreation Club against the Devonshire Cougars. In other Premier Division matches, it was Paget Lions 0, North Village Rams 4, Dandytown Hornets 3, BAA 2, and Crossroads missed their opportunity of going to the top of the table on Saturday night after drawing 2-2 with the Somerset Trojans. In First Division play, it was St. George's Colts 4, Flanagan's Onions 1, St. David's 3, Young Man's Social Club 1, Southampton Rangers 8, Island Rangers 0, and then on Saturday it was Vasco 2, Devonshire Colts 6, Hamilton Parish 0, Wolves 3. The FEI recently released the regional as well as the world ranking category results for the 2018 FEI World Jumping Challenge, and Bermuda equestrians have proven once again to be on top of their game. The 2018 Bermuda team of Phil Correa, Casey Truin, and Courtney Brumby secured first place in the FEI Regional Team Zone 10 division. The Bermuda team finished 6th in the FEI World Team Ranking category out of 28 teams from around the globe. In the FEI Regional Individual Ranking for Zone 10, Korea and Emerson won the 1.20 to 1.30 meter regional category A division. Talented rider Truin and his horse Dalla Vega won the 1.10 to 1.20 meter regional B division, and Brumby, riding worth the wait, finished second in the 1.00 to 1.10 meter regional category C division.
The Bermuda National Athletic Association hosted their second meet of the season at the National Sports Center. Ramaya Bringman won the under-17 girls 800-meter run, clocking a time of 2:37.94. Koa Goodchild was second in 2:40.38, and Meron Simons finished third in a time of 2:46.55. The under-17 girls 200-meter dash was won by Sanaray Morris, who clocked a time of 27.31. Keturah Beaufort Trot was second in 27.44. In the boys under-17 1500-meter run, Tommy Marshall crossed the line first in a time of 4:39.46. Kazai Seeley finished second in 4:45.34, and Nick Pilgrim finished third in a time of 4:48.34. Clavante Lodge Peen won the under-20 boys 400-meter dash when he was clocked in 49.55. Macau Dill finished second in a time of 56.93. The 2018-19 Bermuda Bicycle Association's Fat Tire Massive mountain bike season continued with action taking place at Admiralty House yesterday. A total of 67 male and female riders took to the challenging course that saw plenty of hill climbs. Dominic Mayo won the male open race, clocking a 10-lap time of 1:03.57. Adam Kirk was second in a time of 1:00.51, but he only completed 9 laps. And Alexander Miller finished third with a 9-lap time of 1:02.34. The female open division was won by Ashley Robinson, who had a winning time of 1:08.05. Caitlin Conyers was second in a time of 1:08.31. Manning Smith rode to victory in the male novice division with a time of 30:06. Jason Pinney was second in a time of 33:11, and Sherman Darrell finished third in a time of 34:37. Jessica Gibbons won the female novice division with a 4-lap time of 35:17. Zena Jones finished second in a 4-lap time of 39:32. Bermuda Karting Club season continued at the Rubis Southside Motorsports Park. Now Bean won all 3 races in the cadet class, while Blake Horseman won all 3 tag senior class races on the day. David Barboza took the checker flag twice in the Al 206 Masters class, while Jeff Souza won the other. Scott Barnes won all 3 races in the Al 206 senior class. The tag junior class saw Ashley Horseman prove too strong, winning all 3 races, while Owen DaCosta won 2 of the 3 races in the shifter stock class, and Scott Barnes won the other. Ben Seville won 2 of the 3 shifter modify class races, with Stephen Corrado winning the other. The Storm came and conquered as they won the Under-12 Merrill Parfit Hustle Tournament, the Under-16 Merrill Parfit Double Elimination Tournament, and the Seniors Who's Who Tournament as the Bermuda Netball Association season resumed on Saturday at the Bernard Park. The Storm would win the Under-12 Merrill Parfit Hustle Tournament with 7 points after picking up 2 wins and a draw, while the Phoenix Sparks finished second with 6 points. The Storm Lightning would defeat the Norfolk Lady Rams 11-5 in the Under-16 Merrill Parfit Double Elimination Tournament final. The Who's Who tournament saw players pick a position randomly without knowing the position they would be playing. The Storm Thunder would win all 4 of their games on their way to winning the title, defeating the Phoenix Heat 7-5. Taylor Carrick concluded competing in the 2019 Dunlop British Junior Squash Open. The final day of competition for Carrick would be another mixed day in the boys under-19 division. On the final day, Carrick would go down in his first game of the day, 9-11, 11-6, 11-8, 11-6 to John Meehan from Scotland. In his final match, Carrick would defeat Nicholas Harbour from England in a 5-game battle, 9-11, 11-8, 11-7, 6-11, 13-11. The Bermuda Flag Football League resumed with yet another doubleheader at the T.N. Tatum Middle School field. A total of 142 points were put on the board in the combined games. Nothing But D defeated the Expatriates 50-6, and then the Killer Squad defeated the Bermuda Misfits 83-3. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, that's our newscast on this Monday evening. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing it with us. Stay tuned for a brand new edition of Let's Talk with Gary Moreno and his guest, Education Minister Diala Rabane, tonight at 8 p.m. Good night.